Today I'll be presenting my supplier relationship strategy for the Nestle. This presentation focuses on how Nestle should manage relationship with its supplier to improve operational performance, reduce supply chain risk, and create long-term business value through strategic supplier relationship management, also known as SRM. The supplier relationship management is a strategic approach where organization build strong and collaborative relationship with the supplier instead of focusing only on cost reduction. In modern global supply chains, suppliers play major roles in product quality, innovation, sustainability, operational continuity, and competitive advantage. For a global FMCG companies like Nestle, effective supplier management is essential because the company depends heavily on the thousands of suppliers across multiple countries. And this presentation will explain the Nestle's procurement needs, supplier selection strategies, supplier segmentation, risk management approaches, contracting method, and long-term supplier development strategies. Here is some companies overview and industry context. Nestle is the world's largest food and beverage company, which is located in Switzerland, the headquarter, and the operating all over in the world around 187 countries. The company owns more than 2,000 brands, including famous brands like Nescafe, KitKat, Maggi, and Nestle dairy products. Because Nestle operates globally, it relies on a highly complex supply chain involving thousands of suppliers and logistic partners. Its procurement strategy must align closely with the commercial goals such as profitability, sustainability, operational resilience, and product quality. Procurement is therefore not just a simply purchasing function, it's a strategic business function that's cause effect that's directly affects on the performance and competitiveness. Here are some key goods and services purchased by Nestle. There are two types of purchase which is made by Nestle. One is direct procurement, another is indirect procurement. For direct procurements includes raw material used daily in the products such as cocoa, coffee, dairy, wheat, and palm oil, and those materials are critical because production cannot continue without them. And indirect procurement includes like supports like packaging, logistics, utilities, IT services. And this presentation also highlights that Nestle reduced its supplier base from approximately 150,000 suppliers to around 132,000 suppliers. And this process is known for suppliers retailization, to improve efficiency, strengthen supplier relationships, simply procurement management, and improve supply chain visibility. Another important point is ethical sourcing. All suppliers are accepted to comply with the UK Modern Slavery Act and Nestle's responsible sourcing standard that show that a modern procurement is not only focused on cost and also ethics and sustainability. Uh, Here, some importance of supplier relationship. Supplier relationships are extremely important for FMG industry-based product on as an FMG industry-based product on uh, industry-based product must remain always available to the customers. Poor supplier performance can lead to stock shortage, delays, deliveries, lower productive quality, and reputational damage. For Nestle, supplier relationship directly affect the shelf availability, customer satisfaction, and the brand reputation. And this presentation also discussed that BRICS introduce the custom delays, increased paperwork, and higher sourcing cost. Here is some criteria followed by Nestle while choosing suppliers using several important criteria. The first criteria is cost. Supplier must offer competitive pricing to help Nestle maintain profit margin and market competitiveness. The second criteria is quality and delivery reliability, because Nestle mm, produce food products. Supplier quality standard must remain constantly high and protect customer safety and brand reputation. The third criteria is sustainability. Supplier must comply with the environmental, social, and governance standard, also known as ESG standards. This includes ethical labor practice, environmental protections, and compliance with the Modern Slavery Act. And the fourth criteria is innovation capability. Nestle values suppliers that can contribute to product development, process improvement, and long-term innovation. Uh, Here is a supplier segmentation using the Kraljic matrix. These slides introduce the Kraljic matrix, which is one of the most important procurement tools. The metric classifies supplier based on supplier risk and business impact. There are four categories of the suppliers. The most important one is the strategic, and there are leverage suppliers, bottleneck suppliers, and non-critical suppliers. For strategic suppliers are suppliers with high business importance and high supply risks. For Nestle, Coca, and coffee suppliers fall into this category. For leverage, suppliers have a high business impact but lower risk. Packaging suppliers can be fit into these examples. Nestle can also use competitive bidding and negotiation to maintain cost efficiency here. Bottleneck suppliers have higher supply risks but lower business impact. Those suppliers may require dual sourcing strategies to reduce risk. Finally, non-critical suppliers require a simple transaction management, and the key message is not all suppliers should be managed in the same way. Supplier segmentation help Nestle allocate resources more effectively. Relationship Chosen relationship types and rationables. For non-critical suppliers, Nestle can use transactional relationships. Those relationships focus mainly on price, efficiency, and short-term purchasing. For leverage suppliers, preferred preferred supply relationship are more suitable. Those involve stronger cooperation and long-term a- agreement while maintaining cost discipline. For strategic suppliers, Nestle should develop strategic partnership. Those partnership involve joint investment, risk sharing, collaborative planning, and innovation. Examples includes long-term relationship with coca and coffee farmers. This let's also discuss framework agreement. Framework agreement provide commercial stability, long-term mm, uh, corporation, and operational flexibility. This is especially useful after BRICS due to increased uncertainty in the supply chain. Here is some key supply chain and commercial risk. The first risk is the BRICS related disruption. Brexit increased the custom procedures, tariffs, delay, and the transportation cost. The second risk is climate disruption. Agricultural raw materials such as coca and coffee are highly affected by the climate change and unpredictable weather condition. The third risk is ethical and reputational risk. If supplier violate labor laws or sustainability standards, Nestle's reputation may suffer significantly. This presentation highlights that the proactive risk identification is essential for effective supply chain management. Here we can talk about the risk mitigation strategies. The first strategy is dual sourcing. This means using multiple suppliers for important materials. If one supplier falls, another suppliers can continue supplying products. The second strategy is simply strategy is supply chain mapping and financial monitoring. Nestle should continuously monitor supplier performance and financial health to identify problems early. And the third strategy is third-party audit. Suppliers should undergo ethical and sustainability audits to ensure that ensure compliance with the company standard. And the fourth strategy is contractual flexibility. Contracts should be include clauses like force measure and step in rights. Those clauses allow Nestle to respond quickly during disruption or emergencies. Overall, this all of this information show that how proactive risk management improves supply chain resilience. Here we can talk about the contracting approach. These slides explain Nestle's contracting strategy. Different contract types serve different purposes. Fixed term contract provides short term certainty. Framework agreement provides long term relationship with flexible regarding volumes and specifications. Performance based contract link supplier to rewards to KPI and performance target. This encourage continuous improvement in accountability. And this presentation also highlight that legal compliance requirement in the UK, including the Procurement Act 2023 and the Modern Slavery Act. The key point is well-structured contract strengthens supply relationship and reduce operational risk. Here is how to maintain a long-term, how to develop a long-term supplier. Nestle invest in the supplier through training, co-investment, technology support, and collaborative planning. An important example in the Nescafe Plan 2030. This program helps coffee farmers improve sustainable farming practice, agricultural productivity, and environmental performance. Supplier development creates benefits for both Nestle and suppliers. Benefits includes stronger resilience, improved sustainability, innovation, and long-term supply security. Supplier performance management, KPIs and the scoreboard. Nestle use supplier scoreboard and KPIs. KPIs may include on-time delivery, defective rates, responsiveness, cost performance, and sustainability compliance. Strategic suppliers are reviewed quarterly, while preferred suppliers are reviewed biannually. The presentation also highlights that the importance of ERP integrated SRM system, which is a technology this technology improves supplier visibility, data analysis, and performance tracking. Closed loop review system also help support continuous improvement in long-term competitiveness. To conclude this presentation, all of those resources demonstrate that the effective supplier relationship management provides Nestle with a significant strategic advantage. The strategy combines supplier segmentation, structured contracting, supplier development, risk management, and the performance monitoring. This presentation also shows that the procurement is no longer simply about the reducing cost. Instant procurement has become a strategic business function that supports resilience, sustainability, innovation and long-term competitive advantage. For Nestle, continuous investment in supplier relationship will improve operational performance, reduce commercial risk, and strengthen long-term business value. Thank you.